Hello, everybody. Welcome to Orange Juice, news and notes from around the world of insoles. I am your host, Owen Kenoy, and back with us after some time away is Marsha. Hey, Marsha, welcome back, co-founder of Orange Insoles.
Thank you, Owen. I'm excited. I love the topic about today. So, pretty fired up for the 19th hole with Orange Insoles.
Yes, if that didn't give it away, there are 18 holes in golf, and this is the 19th hole with Orange Insoles. So today we are going to put on our golf hats and just dive into really several golf courses around the U.S. that are absolutely amazing experiences, whether you're a golfer or not. Now, what I'll say is most of them are certainly an investment in a trip and something that if you don't appreciate golf, maybe you'd want to hit a national park. But I would say you might even be able to walk around these golf courses that are just absolutely beautiful and spend a full day just taking in the scenes, much like a national park, because they are that beautiful. So we are going to dive into those courses and, of course, some of Orange Insoles and how Orange Insoles might be able to help you on the golf course. We've definitely got some great feedback there. But before we hop into that, we did just want to give a special shout out to this weekend's PGA Tour winner.
Yeah, so I was stuck to the TV on Sunday with your father, who is stuck to the TV every Sunday. I don't know if you guys are doing this little $5 side hustle bet on golfers or not. But anyway, I feel like we're always watching. But the 3M Open, the Jackson Colvin, if I think I'm saying his last name right. Anyway, he was so much fun to watch as this. I do believe he's only a freshman. I know he's 21 years old, but he goes to Auburn University. And to see him come down and take out the number one golfer in the world, Scheffler, and not even flinch, finishing up that last round. I even think he ended up setting the course record or tying it. And anyway, Scheffler already had cleared the course and was ended up 22 under. So this kid had like 3 more holes to just maintain what he had and ended up 25 under. So I was kind of fired up. And then I was thinking about what topic we would talk about this week. Owen and I were, and I'm like, Owen, let's do one on creating a golf. Like, what's your bucket list for golf courses in the US? And so that's kind of where this topic came up. So I fortunately have golfed some amazing courses. So I'm going to walk through the 5 that I've already golfed to encourage you to put it on your bucket list. One of them that we'll start with, as you can see, I'm already wearing it, Pebble Beach. But maybe this will give you some ideas. We're just going to cover 5 golf courses, the history, the signature hole, and then what the investment would be to play the course. And then one of them I'm super fired up to talk about is one of them is actually in our home state here in Michigan, where our home base for Orange Insoles is. So we'll get to that here shortly, but looking forward to hopefully convincing you to create your bucket list, as we were so motivated by young Jackson on Sunday.
Well said. So before we get into it, since this is a family podcast, we'll share kind of how I got into golf. And Marsha, I'm sure you can talk about how you got into golf. But for me, I never, really started golfing multiple days a week and became like a dedicated player of the sport or anything like that. But I've always had a blast playing it. Some of my early memories are we used to have a very long front yard, so I would have an iron out in the front yard and think I was good to just swing away kind of across the length of the front yard. But we'd have errant golf balls all over the place. I don't think anything ever actually ended up too bad, but that's one. And then I think my first memory on the course was with Marsha. She took my brother and I out to Indian Hills in Okemos, a 9-hole course. Shout out Indian Hills. And I just remember one very good shot on the first hole, and then the rest was kind of a mess. So it was fun though, and it's such a starter course. I just remember getting there, and we were like 5 minutes early, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, we have so much time. 5 minutes early, perfect. And Marsha was like, no, like normally for a round of golf, you get here at least like 30 minutes early. And that was just like the most shocking thing in like my elementary school brain. I'm like, what do you do for 30 minutes before a round of golf? But now I totally understand. It's funny because later I'm going to talk a little bit about how a routine can help. But yeah, it was fun. And then just going on to golf with buddies kind of through college and um, definitely golfing my most after college, with friends, with family, that sort of thing. But now that I have kids, it's something that I squeeze in when I can, and it is such a treat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I started into golf in my 20s, and it was because the place I worked, I was in the beer industry. Everyone was always leaving in the summertime. They're like, "Oh, I have to plan an outing with my customer." I'm like, What is that about? You can do that? Well, do you golf?" I'm like,
I
"Sometimes." I
do.
totally lied because I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna figure out this golf thing because why do I have to sit in the office and well, not sit in the office, but work my route, work with my customers, and these guys get to golf all day. This is ridiculous." So I grabbed a set of clubs, but what I love most about it, to what Owen just said, is as a mom who has boys, it's hard to find things that we can do together. And it was gave us something to do, that I could take my boys and have one-on-one time with them, but it was athletic. And my boys were very competitive and had to be always doing something athletic. So it was awesome that I got to build that relationship. But I started going, hey, I'm not sitting in the office. That's not fair. Bullshit. Just because I'm the girl, the one girl working here, no way. So I started. And then as my career developed professionally, it was expected me to host people at amazing golf courses. So that's where I have this bucket list that I want to cover with you. These 5 courses, starting with Pebble Beach. I'm sure everybody's heard of Pebble Beach. Owen probably has wearables from Pebble Beach from when I went there. I've actually
Hmm.
played Pebble quite a bit. What we would do is we would take customers out there. We'd play Pebble Beach. We play Spyglass in the morning, Pebble Beach in the afternoon. So I'm going to talk about the 5 courses I want to cover with you today is Pebble Beach, Spyglass Hill, uh, Kiowa Ocean Course, Pelican Hill, which is also in California, and then Arcadia Bluffs, which is the secret course in Michigan that is amazing. So Pebble, most of you probably know the history behind Pebble, but designer was Jack Neville and Douglas Grant, and it was built along. It is built today along the they call it the dramatic Pacific coastline near Carmel, California. It is dramatic because the weather is so influential when you play it. It was born it or is born. It's been there since 1919 and it's hosted major championships as you see it on TV all the time. I think it's got 3 famous holes. I think for me the one that you see on TV and the one we all talk about is that par 3 that's like right on the water. Every time I've ever played it, I've had a caddy, and I highly encourage that because they really know how to play the wind. So if you're going to invest in going out there, you might as well have a really good round of golf or at least get you someone who can keep you in check and not lose your ball. So I remember the one time the caddy, like, say the hole straight ahead, he turns me all the way to the water and he says, "Okay, now hit your ball into the wind, into the water." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? What, are you trying to set me up to look stupid?" And we were laughing. He goes, "No, just do it. Trust me." I did because the wind was so strong. I hit it into the water. It comes all the way back and it drops. I'm not making this up, 3 feet within the hole. And and the caddies learn as you move through the day, like what your swing is and how you're capable of
Hmm.
what distance. So that's part of them. But anyway, yeah, so you really have to play it, but then some of the holes, oh my gosh, as a female, you had to drive it, some of them over a ledge, you had to drive it at least 150 to 180 to get to the next landing where you needed to go. So it's definitely has its toughest holes are along the water, and then the other 9 kinda go into, they're not on the water, not so influential on the wind. But anyway, that was the whole 7 is the one that's that breathtaking par 3 that is just amazing, and you see it on TV. And so, Owen, the green fees are like in 2026 around about $700, which I don't think is that bad. And a caddy's of about 155 plus gratuity. Definitely worth doing. But I would say too, the 18th hole that you finish up with, it's a par 5 and it just runs the entire course. The entire hole runs the ocean. And it's just stunning. It's stunning coastal view coming in on that hole. And you definitely need to have a good driver. like every hole,
Yeah,
you gotta have your
it's a
driving game
long
on.
course.
And the putting I didn't think was difficult at all. It's all about that course is knowing how to drive the ball to get you going, or you're in trouble. So I don't know if that's on your bucket list, Owen, but Pebble's something to look
Ocean views, breeze,
at.
some golf. I'll add it to the bucket list. Yeah, definitely a memorable experience, I'm sure, and something I would love to do. Um, I'm going out to California later this year. Maybe I'll look into it. No, I'm just kidding. I think I'm priced out at this point with the two little ones at home. So,
I was gonna
uh,
say, wait, did you request time off? I didn't know you were going to California. Just kidding, other topic. Okay, so
well,
Owen, Spyglass is the other one. So that's Spyglass Hill Golf Course. And so we would play that in the morning to warm up. And this
okay.
they'll tell you this is the toughest. It's so much harder than Pebble Beaches, the Spyglass course. So I highly recommend it. It was opened in 1966. Robert Trent Jones, he originally planned it was supposed to be called the Pebble Beach Pines Golf Club, and then they renamed it to Spyglass Hill after Robert Louis's Stevens Treasure Island. And each hole is named after a character or location from Treasure Island, which is interesting. So with it though, it's really interesting because it's a lot like you see the water, you see the dunes, that type of thing. But then the other nine is like I felt like I was back in Michigan, like you're in the wilderness. It's cut through. So it's very different type course. Their signature hole is hole 4, but it's a par 4. It was interesting, but I think the one I always remembered was hole 6. It's called Black Dog. It's a long par 4 that is consistently it's one of the toughest holes that they were saying like I guess the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am was there and they were saying it was the toughest wall. But I definitely remember Black Dog and it being a tough par 4. Like if you could get away with a good score on that one, you were sitting pretty good for the day. The first 5 holes feature stunning ocean views like through the coastal dunes. And then the remaining 13 holes, winds through the pines. It's just a beautiful course and you just get to see two sides of the beauty of California. And the thing is it's kind of the same. It's a little less than Pebble. It runs like about 500 on average. And then there is walking available on this one. I've not walked this one, but but I have had a caddy there which was very helpful to kind of move you along and make sure you didn't lose your ball. And I will say with Pebble, I'm pretty sure they do require you to have a caddy, actually, now that I think about it. So that's Spyglass. So people will go out there and travel because they're so close together. Usually people will play, Pebble one day, Spyglass the next. So highly recommend that. It's easy. We played them both in one day. It was a long day of 36 holes, but a lot of fun. So Owen,
I was just gonna say, I love when they break up the course kind of where it's like the front 9 is like a certain feel and then the back nine's a certain feel. It's almost like you're getting two different rounds of golf. Where
mhm.
yeah, I mean, where some of them are just well, I guess at a lot of these courses, there's all sorts of creativity, but a lot of your basic courses is kind of like all the same, 1 through 18. I mean, there's par 3s, there's par 4s, there's par 5s, but it's awesome to be able to play so many different unique holes.
I think I was telling you that about Pebble. Like their other 9 off the water is not impressive. But Spyglass's other 9 off the water to go play in, the pines and stuff was just absolutely gorgeous. Where Pebble, you're playing in like there's houses and you feel like you're going through people's backyard. But
Hmm.
it was just beautiful. So, all right. So the next one I want to talk about comes back to Michigan. And Owen, I don't know if you played this one. I feel like we always used to vacation in Pentwater, Michigan. And this one we're talking about, Arcadia Bluffs, is like 30 minutes north of there. It's on the west side of the state of Michigan. It's by Manistee. Um, did we ever take you up there? I can't remember.
No, I've not played there.
Okay. So this one is what they call Michigan's Pebble Beach. I always told everyone it is the best kept secret. It's a links course. I played links course in Ireland, and I actually played the Ireland courses first, and then I came back one summer in Michigan and a customer of mine wanted to play Arcadia. I'm like, sure, I'll go up there. I mean, it can't be that good. I could not believe how gorgeous Arcadia Bluffs this link course is. It is, and I've played it multiple times, but it was opened in 1999. It's in Arcadia, Michigan, overlooking Lake Michigan. So you're still going to get some of that wind effect and the weather, and just like you would Pebble. The designer was Warren Henderson. The course was built. It was on a former farmland, apple and cherry orchards, which makes sense, right? It's northern Michigan, cherry state.
Yeah,
Usually there's
absolutely.
blueberries, like you've picked the blueberries. It's right in there. It's in natural dunes, elevation changes. The lake views were shaped into these link style course. So cool. So they purposely designed it after a Scotland links course, and they have the same dramatic bunkers. Yes, it's horrible when you get in a bunker. Do you know what you do when you get in a bunker, Owen? Do you know how to get out?
You take a drop. You take a penalty shot.
No, Owen, you do not take it. You are not my kid. There's two things you can do. You either take the wall and pop it straight up and out, or you turn around and you go backward and you pop it the other way with the low wall. But anyway, I bring that up because two of my really good friends played it last week, and they were telling me how they got in those bunkers. And my one friend just got so frustrated. She just picked up the ball and just chucked it out and said, "Write me down for one." Like, it's so
Yep.
bad. The bunkers are real. You really have to learn how to open your club and, get them up over the wall. But anyway, they have these at Arcadia. So it's the dramatic bunkers. The Lake Michigan winds, I've played it in the fall, can really kick in and just make it really a little challenging. And then they have wide strategic fairways. So you really have to know how to drive the ball on this course to get yourself going to hit that first fairway. So it's absolutely breathtaking. The best news about it, though, just so you know, is that it is definitely more affordable. It's less than 300 a round, which is great. And you can get a caddy if you want. So they have the same. They call them these dramatic holes. Everyone seems to have the famous par 3. You're going to hear this through each of the courses. Always have this amazing par 3. But the one I love on Arcadia is this. It's called hole number 12, the signature experience. It's a par 5. It's all along the water. It's absolutely gorgeous. It plays on the edge of the bluff. And then it requires, really good strategy when it comes to the wind because you're all on the water. But what people might or might not know, you're supposed to tee up your ball. And the first one, you're supposed to sacrifice to Lake Michigan. So you turn and you just drive it into the water. It's the most awesome thing. There's a fence there, so you got to take the fence. But that's I always laugh because I look over and just think of all the balls out there in the water. But so if you go to Arcadia on hole 12, launch the famous launch over the water. But we'll have to get you up there, Owen. That's like what is it? 2 hours from you? You live in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, it's like maybe a 2-hour drive from us. I'm thinking about those golf balls, though. I might need to get a boat, get them refurbished, and start a little side business.
Shoot, you just got a kayak. I mean, it's that close to the water.
Yep.
Just do a little kayak, a little bucket. That's what we were talking about. But anyway, it's a true seaside links feel without leaving the US. So you definitely want to go check Arcadia out. So another one I'm going to go to, this one I threw on there and I didn't even know if it's like in a top 20, but as I researched it, it has always been my passion. It's called Pelican Hill Golf Club. And they've got 2 courses. It's an Ocean North course, an Ocean South course. And it's, we always stayed in Laguna Beach, California. And it's technically in Newport Coast, California, but it's right next to Laguna. So people usually will stay there. There is a brand called Kettle Vodka that still exists in the U.S., but Carl Nolette, who owns Kettle Vodka, his family, he had a place there, even though they live in Amsterdam. And so we would go visit him for business meetings, and then he would take us out to Pelican Hill for golf. And this course, once again, just like Pebble, ocean views. This one had more rolling canyons and stuff, very native landscaping, and its sweeping views of the Catalina Islands and Pacific Ocean. Just stunning. But I will never forget, and I did not remember, it could be hole 12, which is their signature hole, but you have to drive the ball over. Basically, you're on this huge canyon cliff. You have to drive it over this whole large opening to get to the fairway. But when you land it, it is the most awesome like shot, but it's very challenging on this particular course. But they have a ocean, on the ocean north coast, they have this par 3 that's a dramatic downhill pop. You just got to pop it up and land it on that green, but very elevated tee, which is always a fun challenge, especially if you're really good at your irons. When are you good at your irons?
Hit and miss. Sometimes.
Literally hit and miss. For me, for me. But
Yes, or swing and miss, excuse me.
so, swing and miss. Okay, sorry. I got to get my thing here. I make sure I'm staying on task. So the other thing with the I recommend Pelican Hill. A lot of people haven't heard of it. It's just amazing. And it's like $425 for around 18, which I think is a great price for California. They've got twilight pricing as well. And but it's just it requires, careful strategy because of the wind and elevation, just like Pebble or just like Arcadia, any of these along the water. So, you'll definitely have to check it out. All right. So the last one I want to cover is Kio. I keep saying it wrong today. Kiowa Island. This is one. Have you heard of this one, Owen, in South Carolina?
I don't think I have.
Really? Okay. So I always would play it for 2 or 3 days on a business trip. And then I would take people at the end of the week, we'd go to the Masters because the Masters was like 2, 3 hours away from this place. So it's on this island. I'll never forget what struck me about this course is all the massive alligators. I was just like, is that allowed to, like, is
Thank you.
he allowed to be right there? Now, obviously, this is before I now own or I'm in a golf community in Florida where there's massive alligators everywhere. So now I'm just used to it. But at that point I was like, to the caddy, like, you got
Well,
your
you
eye
can
on that one.
outrun
Don't
them,
worry
can't
about my
you?
ball. What's that?
Aren't they like not fast on land?
Well, you know what? No one's ever come at me. And I've sent you videos how close I am to those alligators. They just, I, maybe I shouldn't be so daring.
Viewers beware. Do not
But
try this at
anyway,
home.
but this one being on an island, I mean, you are completely dealing with wind, water. I mean, so it opened in 1991. And what I love about this is Pete Dye, with his wife's input, Alice, created and designed this golf course. So it's South Carolina, it's near Charleston. And the course was built to host the 1999 or 1991 Ryder Cup, which was the War by the Shore, they called it, that particular Ryder Cup. The United States did win the event, but it was very dramatic final day finish, which usually they are, except the one I attended in Ireland when the US got their ass whooped. Sorry, it's true. Wasn't even close. I still was chanting USA for absolutely no reason. But I will say to have the US lose in Ireland, that those people know how to party when they win. It was a massive, great time. But anyway, I derail. So Pete Dye originally designed this course behind the dunes on the island, but his wife, Alice, was encouraged him to raise the fairways and greens to golfers so they could see the Atlantic Ocean. And the results, unfortunately, now are you've got wind, sand, water, all these
Yeah.
things. But the view, she was right. The views are amazing, just amazing. And the hotel you stay at to play this course is one of the most gorgeous hotels I've ever stayed in. Just FYI. So anyway, they have a signature hole, a par 3. I feel like everyone, now that I researched it and remembered, everyone has a signature par 3 hole. So just like Pebble all over again, you've got water guards on the right side, you've got deep bunkers, it's just a challenging par 3 hole on number 17. And then 18 is one of golf's greatest finishing holes. It runs completely along the Atlantic Ocean. But it's you have to have a very demanding approach shot. So like I mentioned before, a lot of these courses, you got to have your drive game down or you're going to get yourself into trouble. So, but the average cost on this one is $685 for 2026. You caddies are typically required on this particular course, and you walk it. You do not do a cart. And I actually enjoyed that. If you got a caddy carrying your bag, you might as well walk it and enjoy it. So that was do you walk courses much, Owen?
I have never walked a course.
Really?
I'm more of like a ride in the cart with the beer kind of guy.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I can be changed for these courses, but yeah, it's usually where I'm at.
Got it. All right. So I'm gonna do a quick recap, excuse me, on these 5 courses. So Pebble Beach, obviously most iconic history, and the scenery is stunning, like all along that shoreline. Spyglass is the toughest California course. It's the hardest challenge. However, I didn't find it to be because there wasn't as in that when you get into the pines, the winds are taken out of it and you can actually play your game. So I thought it was lovely. But Arcadia Bluffs, Midwest coastal beauty. It's just stunning and worth it. I swear it is the best course in Michigan for sure. Some people will fight me on that, but that's okay. Pelican Hill is it's more luxury because of the property it's on and um, along that ocean golf. It's just gorgeous. And the Kiowa Ocean course has all the major championships, but it has the most brutal wind challenge that you'd have to be put up against. So if you're creating your bucket list, I just want to throw out these 5 courses to something to definitely consider and get to. Everyone is very different. But I will say, as you know, whether you're riding in a cart or you're walking with your caddy or you're walking with your bag, I don't think people realize how many steps you get when you're golfing 18 holes. Owen, how many steps do you think they get?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm sure you get more when you're walking, but a lot of times even when you're not walking, you're still getting tons of steps, even if you're doing beer in the cart like me. So yeah, orange insoles are something that we use in our golf shoes that we've had reviews on others using them in golf shoes. A lot of friends, family, extended network also have loved orange insoles in their golf shoes for that exact reason. You're on your feet a lot. Your feet get fatigued throughout the course of the day. That's funny, like the golf course. But also golf shoes are not designed with all day support in mind. So that's where adding the insoles, whether that's our new orange sport insole, which I've been using lately, or even really you could use any of them. It just depends on how it fits. I would probably recommend the orange sport or the 3/4 length insole, which has the deep heel cup. Which helps lock your foot into place during your swing, and you just truly do feel more anchored in your stance, in your shoes. I'm one of those people who tends to like swing out of their shoes a little bit sometimes, if I'm being honest, in a good way. Like it just sometimes I have, I guess, like a fast swing, but with that said, the insoles really help. And then
Can I add
building on that.
something there? Can I add something there though? So one thing I know you were saying the different types. I will say the one that we have most success with is the 3/4 in this particular case, because people or the full length, but usually the golf shoe is just really tight. So a lot of people will just leave their liner in and place the 3/4 over it because a lot of the liners won't come out of certain golf shoes. So the 3/4, but because that deep heel cup, it really just wraps around your heel and just really anchors you in for your shots. Because like you were saying, Owen, a lot of people will move their feet or whatever, and you want to really not be doing that. And it just the way it puts your body back in alignment. So when you're coming through on that swing, you're staying strong with your base. So you can really use your legs for the power you need behind your hit. So I just can't believe the people we've placed them in at our golf community who have just given us great feedback on just they can feel their foot locked in, their legs locked in, and they're not sliding, moving as they're powering through that swing. So, I just wanted to tee that up that that one just has so much luck because but now they have these golf shoes now more that are like a tennis shoe. So those type, which are becoming more and more popular because it has that mesh, gives you more, your feet more breathing. Those
Hmm.
liners are coming out, and that is where people are putting the full length into, or the sport one, like you mentioned. But I bring up the full length because it does have the deep heel cup. Our sport doesn't have such a deep heel cup like the full length is that really anchors in your heel. But anyway, I just wanted to tee that up because that's been a really good one for that golf community.
Yeah, like I said, whether it's the sport or the full length or the 3/4, maybe your shoe's really tight and you throw in an orange light, that would at least give you some support too. You can't go wrong. It is kind of trial and error, so you can absolutely check those out at our website. We'll work with you if you have any questions on how it might fit into your shoes specifically on the front end, and get you the right fit. So. With that said, we appreciate you guys listening to today's episode and putting on your golf expert hats and just hearing about some of the beautiful courses here in the USA. And what I would encourage you to do, whether it's save for one of these amazing courses or even just go and check out a course you haven't played in your backyard, and you might be pleasantly surprised. There's all sorts of great courses around. But again, if you are looking for those bucket list items, maybe you go seek out Pebble Beach or Spyglass, Arcadia, and a few others that Marsha mentioned as well. With that said, we appreciate it. We'll catch you on another episode of Orange Juice.